All right, guys, we are ready to do some Jiu-Jitsu. Let me get over there in a second. Kendall's going to help me out today. As you're watching, do me a favor, say hello, say hi. We're going to do some stuff and things. Going to do my best to stay on camera the whole time, but we don't have a filmer, so if we go off, I'm sorry.
If you guys got questions, make sure you add some context. Like,
Gonna have you move a little. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm saying that if you've got a question, then be like, "Hey, Bill, that thing you did at 2 minutes and 13 seconds, what was that?" Because if you say, "Hold on, do that thing with the arm again," we're never gonna have a clue when you posted it.
Yeah, that's the best way to approach it. Good point, Kendall. I'm glad you said that. Okay, so Kendall, we'll use that line you're sitting on as kind of our far left point.
Gotcha.
It's
That's the outlier.
It's actually state. Yeah, there we go. Good. All right. What's up, Frank? How you doing? Who else we got? We got Vaughn. Who did I see there? Doc Biotts. What's going on? It's good to see you guys. We're going to get started here very briefly. All right, guys, here we go. So we've done a ton of stuff over the last 5 weeks in the half guard. And this is going to be the final class with the half guard in it. And it's not really going to be a class per se. I'm just going to review everything we've done because I know there's a lot, and I think that there's a lot to be said for just kind of going back through it in your mind. If you remember, we have the half guard tree, right? Like if you think of your jiu-jitsu, every position is like a tree, and that tree has branches, and I would say that all those trees connect to one another. Like they're all a tree. So we're going up the jiu-jitsu tree. The specific giant branch we're on is the half guard, and the smaller branches that come off of it were the forearm, the neck, the near arm, the underhook. Or you could even say the forearm, the neck, the overhook, the underhook. Maybe that's a better way to say it. So I'm going to review all those options today, just so that you guys know what we've done. And if you have questions, do me a favor, post them in the comments section. If you're watching this on YouTube, go post them in the comments. If you're watching it on Facebook Live, post it in the comments. I'm happy to help you. But if you put a timestamp, that's definitely a better way for me to know, because this is going to be a crap ton of content. Like it's a whole DVD's worth of content. So let's check it out. So we've got Kendall here in the half guard. Actually, let's turn about 45 degrees. Perfect. And if you remember, anytime I'm doing half guard, I want a shallow hook. This is a good half guard for me. I like this leg. I do not triangle my legs here. If I triangle my legs, I don't have push-pull. I have an incomplete guard. So it's not something I prefer to do. I take my foot and I hook it on his body, or I sometimes step on my own foot, and I'll show this in another angle in a moment. But I like my general position of my leg. Most of the time it's going to be pointed 45 degrees, or like cutting from his shoulder to his hip. This angle right here. Okay, it can also be open, which we'll talk about in a moment, or it can be all the way down, which isn't my preferred position, but there are times to do it.
Flying a little close to the sun.
Yeah, good point.
A little bit risky.
Little, yeah. Your wings might melt. All right. So we're going to talk first. The first section we did was this far arm. And the person may not exaggerate like this. We're going to exaggerate it today just for the demonstration. But anytime I see space right here between his arm and his body, I can attack this far arm, specifically for the Kimura. If you remember the Kimura, we attacked, we came up, grab it, and we pinched our legs, and we have the initial finish. We actually reviewed it just yesterday. We did it too. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So you can go right to it. So I'm open. I just sit up, come over. This hand grabs the wrist, and I'm going to shoot my arm through. And you can go over top of your own hand too. So I'll show that in just a second. Boom. Right here, if you notice, like my hand isn't grabbing. Like I'm not doing this. And Kendall can feel a big difference between the tightness on his arm from when I grab my own wrist or when I shoot all the way through. Okay, it's a lot tighter, and then I can get rid of my thumb, and that allows me to rev and make it even tighter. All right? If you're not comfortable with that, certainly keep your double wrist control, and that's fine. I plant my far foot, pinch my knees together, and continue my rocking chair rotation into the movement. Let's turn 90 degrees. So this is what I was talking about with my positioning of my legs. I'll sometimes step on my own foot, but keep my knee in front. I like that because I've still got good control of him. I've still got push, I've still got pull, but I don't have to let my leg get tired here. Like it kind of serves as like a little post. Come up, boom, get it. The leg, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to stop. This foot right here is going to stomp, turn, pinch my knees together. If I don't pinch my knees, Kendall can bring his leg right out. See? So I pinch my knees, and now I'm just rotating my body to finish. So that's the Kimura option. What we did from that was if they decide to like tuck it, so they're just going to tuck it, they're not moving the leg up yet. We'll talk about that in a minute. So I get here, he tucks it. I'm going to take my chest to his arm, and I will show it from another position in a second, but you'll be able to see what this back leg does too. I take my chest in and my knee in. So I'm connecting my chest to his arm. Now I can push with my knee and pull with my chest to extend my body, and that will sometimes help open his arm back up out of there, and then we finish in the same way we just showed. Show it from the other angle. We're just going to keep going back and forth on these angles, guys. Hopefully they're good. So again, I get up on this. He's tucking it. It might be too hard to just pull this out. So I come in. If I can get my knee in there, I do. And now push, pull, boom, rotate, and finish. The next thing is sometimes people will kind of lean a little bit. And when they do that, it's an opportunity to just sweep and finish that way. So I come in, I get this, and he's kind of leaning this way. Yeah, he thinks he's putting his weight on me, but he's not really. My back foot's just going to drive. I'm going to extend my body, looking to the ground here. And we're up on top. And if you remember, we were able to finish with the Kimura from there. Boom. He kind of leans, extend. Look, if I don't extend my body, you're going to be like, I can't get over. You've got to look away from him. Here. And then I let go with my hand and plant. Let me make sure that I know where our right boundary is. Yeah, we're good. So as long as we're, okay, the fire hydrant, we're good. We're beautiful. How's everybody doing so far? We good? Let me know if you're good. Okay. So it's the Kimura with the tuck, the Kimura with the kind of lean, and now we're going to talk about if they do like start the proper defense, which is like they're going to move forward with their leg to start to kind of reverse it on me. So anytime I'm on a Kimura and I see this leg start to come up, and we're going to exaggerate it for the video. In reality, he may not step, he may just kind of bring it up just enough, and then he wants to cover up his elbow. So yeah, he wants to do that and then plant his knee back down. And now I'm in trouble, okay? Go back, please. So as they do that, I'm going to release completely, all right? I'm going to release, plant my feet just like I did before, boom, except chances are good he's not going to turn away. If he turns away, we've got other options. We've got a knee bar, we've got a calf slice. But for today, he turns and sits. I'm going to bring my leg over, push him to the half guard, come to our Apache leg pin, and I'll show you some of the details on that in a moment. And I move my taint to his, taint to taint, come back, make sure that he should not be able to triangle his legs. Can you demonstrate, please? I don't want that to happen. So I'm making sure that I bring this arm back, and I like to grab the outside of my thigh, bring my hips in, and now a little bit of hip movement. If that's not enough to get him, like Kendall's got a pretty flexible foot here, it's going to be tough to tap him that way. I can shrimp my hips, get my hand in, and now do it, and he tapped to that. Okay, let's look at it from a different angle. So we're here, I came up, his foot stepped up, immediately I release. Boom, he turns to sit, no problem. I come over, throw him to the 50-50, and I'm over here. Bite back, grab my own shin. Apache leg pin with the feet. I'll show that detail without a Kendall here in just a second. Get my taint to his, and my hips are just going to start moving forward. If that is not enough to submit him, which a lot of good guys, it's not going to be nearly enough.
These guys are fighting for Olympic gold.
Yeah, I mean,
they don't need that foot.
Exactly. So I just shrimp, I can get my hand in here, that might be enough. If it's still not, I can shoot the other one in, and now that's going to really, he's going to tap to that. As far as what my legs are doing here, we're not going to do a whole class on the Apache leg pin. This comes from Sean Doherty. But once I step over to that 50-50, I plant a foot. This is the one that comes over his hip. And the outside one is going to come right in here. My heel is going to insert there, and my toes come over top. So that's what I'm doing with my leg. This one's staying open wide, so it's hard for him to jump over top of me. So that's kind of what I'm doing as all this is going on, right? And then it's just turn and look away, or shrimp, come in, make a fist, plant it to your hip, look away, or come through and do the same thing. I don't have a human here to push against, but that's what we would do. So that was all the options that we worked on. Notice I said that we worked on. That doesn't mean that's all there is.
Right.
On the branch called the far arm.
Right.
All right. Now we had the branch called the underhook. We'll call it the underhook. Fix my gi up. Man, getting all messed up. All right, so let's look at this side now. We'll start with it. So we're here. His hips are down. He's in good position. So now remember I talked about my leg. Generally I like to keep it on a 45. When I want to get the underhook, I can open it. When I open it, it kind of windshield wipers his arm out of the way. He has a couple options there. One is to leave his arm over here, probably grabbing on something. The other one would be a very bad option, which would be to bring his arm inside. He's not going to do that because then we're going to face back.
It's an unforced error.
Yeah.
Just a mistake.
So he's probably not going to bring his arm inside. I put my hand here on the inside of my leg. I'm going to kick, and as my leg drops, I'm going to use it as momentum to help me sit up. But it's also going to give me this underhook. And it's going to do it in a way that's very hard for him to pummel in. So if I just do this, he pummels back, just pummel, to get your underhook, and he gets his underhook. Okay? Kendall's always okay with the overhook, so he's used to being like, oh, I'm okay with this game. But our goal is to get the underhook, and look, grab the far shoulder. And the reason is, like I said, Kendall's okay with an overhook. If I give him this and my arm's low, he's probably going to be okay. He's going to be happy with that. If I come up here, he's less happy. He can't rotate his arm inside that space. From here, I drive my hips up, connecting hip to hip, looking away from him. Like, as you always say, like someone said that there's ice cream over there, free ice cream. Free ice cream. And I look over, and now, boom, and we take the back. We've got good weak side control. We can start choking, arm bars, all kinds of great things that we can do. So let's do one more on this side. Boom. Over here, open, come in, up, free ice cream, grab. Look, I can knock his arm forward, take the back, choke, and kill it. So the second part of that is the old school sweep. I'm trying to think of the best angle to do it on. Probably maybe just straight this way. Sure. So we're going to sit up the exact same way. And this time, as I come up, he whizzers. Boom. And he's really whizzering hard. So I'm going to release this. And remember, I want to cross bones. I'm going to exaggerate it here. Just move that. So it's like I want to be crossed with him right here. Okay, but it's all happening right up in here. So let's start that again. Boom, he comes in. And it's really just kind of wrist. Yeah, it's like wrist over wrist. Now I bring my ear, the far one, this one, to his thigh, and I'm going to extend my legs and roll. The extension of the legs is important. So I go under, notice the thigh. Don't do this and just hold with your arm. You might get away with that if you're big like me, but it's not the best way to do it. Go deep, almost like you're trying to grab his belt back here. Now I extend my legs, shoot, and roll. To finish, I just come up on my toes, kick up, shelf the leg, protect from the triangle situation, and now I'm inside control. All right, let's do that, maybe one coming this way.
I especially like that you mentioned getting your face on here, because what I do to people when they do this is I just cross face them.
Yeah.
And that really makes it hard to do.
Yeah, like if I just switch sides real quickly so you can see what he's talking about. If I just come here, he's just going to take this arm and go blah, and then I'm in trouble. So I have to get tight to his leg to make that very difficult. Switch again. So again, we came up, shoot, boom, he whizzers. Cross the bones, come in tight, extend the legs. Notice the leg extension, how that makes him go straight. Roll, and when you come up on tippy toes, kick, shelf, protect against the triangle, free your arm, secure side control. So that was the branch that we're going to call the underhook. And again, there's a lot of other branches there, or lateral branches, if you will, parallel branches. I would say also in that branch would be like the lockdown.
Right. Because
lockdown with underhooks is also a powerful position if you know what you're doing. It could also just be crack if you don't know what you're doing. You're just like, I don't know what to do, I'm just going to lock down. And then you're probably going to get beat with it.
You just kind of squeeze it and pray.
Yeah. Don't make it a lay and pray. You should have an idea of what you're doing. All right, so far arm, underhook. Now we're going to talk about overhook. So, and let's turn 45 again. Perfect. So now, and then hips down. So now, when I sit up, remember the S position, that cheerleader position of my leg. And again, you'll see it on the backside view when we turn. When I come up, I'm here, I'm protecting with my leg, I'm good. Yesterday we talked about bumping into him to try to expose this arm again. But for today, we're going to just say that we're not exposing it. And as he drives in, because most people want the overhook, or the underhook rather, I'm scooting back. So as he pushes in, look, I move my hips back. He pushes in, my hips go back, and my foot comes onto his hip. You'll see this from the back view a little better. As my overhook comes in and pins to his chest. All right? At this point, I can shrimp and I can start the process of an armbar. A lot of times he helps out with it because the initial response is thinking just pull the arm away. He's like, just do that, right? But I shrimp, and as I extend my arm through that and pinch my knee down on the back of it, as he's pulling, it just armbars him. Usually what happens is once we get to this situation and I start this process, they're like, no, and they come back in and try to grab your shoulder. Boom. As he does that, again, keeping my hand on the back of his chest, I shrimp, let his elbow fall into this spot right here. It's kind of hooked on my inner rib. And now I just reverse shrimp, just push my hips this way. I am not pushing with my arm. I'll show you what I mean in a second. See how quickly he tapped? If I just use my arm, look how much movement he's got. That's not the technique. So, boom, here. I tried the arm bar, it wasn't there. I came over. Watch how quick, just by moving my hips in. Okay, it's a big difference. And I think that's the biggest thing that I miss when I try this technique, and it fails. It's usually because of that. Let's do it from the backside so they can see the leg work. All right, so same thing, came up, overhook, I'm setting it up. Again, notice this back leg, how I have it positioned. If I have it up here as I do that, he can actually reach down with his arm and grab my pant leg and pin me to the ground. And that can give me some problems. You know, because now as I try to do this stuff, he can start to rotate and give me problems. So that's why I'm hiding that leg. As he pushes in, I move backwards, overhook, and we talked about it. He tries to pull away. Notice my knee is on the back of my elbow, and notice the toes are on here. I'm not putting a butterfly hook in. There's nothing wrong with a butterfly hook. It's wonderful, but I should only put that in if I'm going for the sweep. There's no need to right now, and look how easy it is to put in there. But I'd rather have it as a pivot point to create crushing force here. As the arm bar, if he tries to defend the arm bar by coming forward, which is probably the most common thing people do, little shrimp there, and now I'm in, and there's the Americana, or the mirror lock.
Upward arm crank.
Upward arm crank. All right, so the next thing we're going to do from here is, from all this, and I haven't mentioned it yet because I'm trying to not, there's a lot of detail, But I always want to make sure that I know where this arm is. This guy right here. If he's moving away, it's not a big deal because it's going to be going that way and we're attacking. But as he starts to come in, I cannot allow it to get a hold of me. All right? That's no good. So I want to make sure I own it. And if he's like moving more laterally in and like killing the position, now it's time, like take your legs with you though. Yeah, there we go. Now, see how he's moving me to my back? He's killing my overhook. This is becoming less useful. But look, boom. Now I can bring my foot onto his hip, bite, around, and we're in our triangle situation. So that's the third option from there. And that's a basic triangle from the guard, essentially, that you've probably done a million times, but it's just being done from the half guard first. All right, so that was the overhook branch. Now we're going to talk about the head branch, and then the little, we'll call it the offshoots, the randoms. So the head, and this was all from the video the other day. He came up in the exact same manner, and I felt like I could attack his neck. I can dribble his head, and it comes down. Because look, you can do that anytime. I could always be like this and be like, oh, his head's weak. Boom. We're right in here, and we just went straight to a guillotine from here. If he hops over, I was able to maintain him, put J hooks in, and finish the guillotine there. Let's look at it from the other side. I want you to pay attention to what the legs are doing as well. Let's get this way just a smidge. All right. So, came up, boom, came over. From here, I just go over. Notice I've still got everything in. I can finish him there. If he tries to jump over this, see how this foot came over? I switched off. I'm moving this out of the way so that you can see. I would just stay here. But once I'm there, I can put this guy over and finish anyway. So that's 1 and 2. One is just choking from the half guard. The other is he tries to jump, get the J hooks in to prevent him from going to the quote safe side, and choke him from the J hooks anyway. The next thing was he does get over there, and we're going to come up anyway, and we're going to finish with an anaconda. So we'll kind of scoot over this way, I think, and maybe put you here. I'm thinking about where your body's going to end up. Maybe this way so that you do the anaconda there. So we came up, we got a hold of this. He does jump to the quote safe side. As he does, I drive with my elbow, thread the needle and come up. I'm completely wrong on you seeing the anaconda, so I'll worry about that from the opposite angle. Then I roll through and finish. So let's look at it from this angle, and then you'll be actually able to see the anaconda set. So we came up, boom, I feel like I can get this choke. Here, he jumps over and he beats me to it. I don't prefer this, but I can use my outside foot, drive the shoulder forward. He fell, but that's okay. Look, right here is where the key is. For me to get this, it's hard to just lock it up. So I push and I come high up on his arm and then come in low with the other arm. Here, now I bring over and here. So I'm grabbing up. So that's the grip we're getting. So basically just a rear naked choke grip. Now I look underneath him so I don't roll him over my face. And then I rotate into him to put pressure and get my submission. So that's the options from the guillotine situation. And then last night was the last stuff we did with it. And this was the... Yeah, spider. Oh, and the Kimura. We talked about the Kimura to
the trap. Yeah.
To the trap. Yeah. Okay. So, showing you this. And again, this is all review, guys. I know that first stuff you haven't seen a lot of. If you want to work on it, we're trying to put together some private lessons for next week. We can work on that with you for that. I just want to make sure that you guys have the complete picture of everything, if you didn't already. So we came up just like before, and this time we talked about, maybe I don't feel like I can get the overhook. Maybe he's keeping his arm a little protected. Whatever. I'm going to just bump into him for one of two purposes. He'll either fall down, which most people won't, or he'll put his arm out to defend the fall, right? Boom. When he does that, this arm's going to come get him as this guy comes over. If I don't let go of his head, it's going to be hard to finish anything. So let's come back a little bit. So I come over his head and come get this guy. And that's where we got the Kimura from. We then talked about if he tucks it, okay, and you could do this anyway. Let's scoot back, actually. I just want to make sure we're well into view. If he tucks it here and I don't feel like I can roll him or get him out of there, I can actually release his leg. I'll show that from a different angle in a second, and kind of coax him into starting to pass. Once that happens, I'm going to take my head right under, extend my legs, and turn basically 180 degrees. See how I'm under him? I'm not out like this. I'm under, rotate. As I go, I'm going to bring my knee in underneath him, here. And then my arm pushes, and we step over, and we're starting to get our choke.
A little bit off.
Yeah. Let's look at that from the other side. So again, you're not going to see it, but I'm going to have my Kimura grip. But I want you to be paying attention to this foot, the one that's over top of his leg right now. So here, and maybe I'm in this fight, and I'm like, oh no, boom, I let him go. As I let him go, I go under. All right, and I keep circling here, right there, take his back and choke. I'm not going to throw him onto the wood here, but that's how that's going to work. So that's what's going on there. My pants are trying to fall off. Is that a special move? All right. Trying to think of the other one. Oh, the spider guard. And the last thing we did yesterday was to go to the spider guard from this situation. So this is more, remember I said there's Jiu-Jitsu is the tree, half guard is one of the giant branches, and off of that there's many different branches, but they all connect. So half guard branch also goes around the tree and connects to the spider guard branch on the other side, right? So you always want to be looking for those connections. Let's maybe do it from, yeah, this is good. Boom. Here, maybe you suck at all the things I just showed. Maybe you've got real short legs, real short arms, whatever. But you can get these sleeve grips pretty well. And people will give you these all the time. They're not really that hard to get. So you can shrimp, bring your foot in, and just get yourself a little spider hook here. Yeah. And now look, I like to bite with my toes. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm going doo, doo, like that. It helps if you make that sound effect. Doo. And then I come out. Boom. And this guy's like a little scorpion here. I can put it in and have both.
Just be bicycling around.
Or I can leave it out, which is kind of how I prefer to play it. I didn't really talk about that yesterday. Now when I feel ready, I'm going to pull this arm in, step on his hip, and pull. Look, I'm not being lazy with it. See how his arm's way out there? I pull it under me. Now come up over. Bite, triangle, game's over. So that was the last of those options that we've gone over so far. All right, my friends, let me check real quick, see what questions you have, see if we've got anything there that we need to go back to. Seeing a lot of people saying hello. I don't see any comments. Good, and the view is good. Katie, need rolling now. I feel you. Hi, Cindy. Laura, what's up? All right, looks like everybody's good to go. All right, guys, so that was a very, very brief instructional, more of just a review, super high-level review on everything we've worked on for the half guard in the last 5 weeks. Was it 5 weeks?
Yeah, something like that.
It's been a long period of time, so it's easy. And maybe you weren't even here, you hadn't been training yet. You know, it's a good way for you to get caught up with some of that stuff. And then next week, I am going to be putting a schedule up so that everybody has access to it. We can do private lessons. So we're going to do half-hour private lessons. We're doing them super cheap, just $20 because we know the situation. You guys are doing an awesome job supporting the school even when it's hard for you to come in. Just hand the money, slide it to the instructor who's teaching you. Don't even worry about, we're not charging cards on file or anything like that, just because by the time that's done, anyway, it's easier just to hand them a $20 bill if that's possible. Any questions? All right, guys. Thank you so much. Talk to you later.